Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Big Chief channel. Joining you today is myself, your host, Aaron Lee, as well as a familiar face, none other than John Tan. Because today we will be talking about something very interesting about why you should be an author yourself. Now, I know a lot of people, John, I believe that a lot of people enjoy reading books, right? Especially online when you suddenly come across, you get a lot of ebooks and stuff like that. It can be very interesting to learn new things about so many things in the world. But I don't think that a lot of us have ever thought of ourselves as an author, right?
Well, can I give my 2 cents worth now?
Sure, please go ahead.
We all must be authors. For two simple reasons. The advent of
Ah.
self-publishing
Mm-hmm.
started long time ago, but it was not respectable. Yeah, in the 60s, 70s. You try to self-publish, it's going to be a tough road ahead. And booksellers, retailers won't even put your books on the shelf. But that has changed a
Mm-hmm.
lot with the onslaught of online from 95 onwards, and the last 20 years, especially the last 10 years.
Right.
I'm going to use a very strong word, forgive me. It's going to be a sin, S-I-N,
Okay.
not to write your own book, because self-publishing has now gained respect as of 10, 15 years ago.
Mm.
It has gained respect, so much so the traditional publishing houses were threatened at one stage, and they actually come out with imprint, IMPRINT,
Mm.
subsidiary that allows self-publishing. So that's why it is a sin not to publish your book now, because
Ah.
there are more than 15 reasons. But this over this series of 10 episodes, I shall go deeply into 10 reasons. Of course,
Awesome.
today possibly we go 3 to 5. We see how it goes and continue next week. And by the end of the 10 to 12 episode, you can write your own book. I give you all the
Amazing. Now, uh, John, if I'm just an average Joe, why in the heck would I even want to write my own book?
time. First of all, allow me to just rattle off, because as I said just now, this episode, it will be impossible to go into all 10. But if we just go
Mm-hmm.
shallowly, it doesn't make sense. But now I just rattle over the 10 reasons that we would delve into the next 2, 3 weeks, starting from today. Number one,
Right.
make money. Number two, self fulfillment, also known as SSS. In Malaysia, is known as Syok Sendiri Saja. But don't laugh at it, it's a good reason. Number three, you can use your book as a PR or marketing tool. Number four, share your knowledge and experience threefold. Every one of us, especially now in BCC, we have experts with their own expertise, talent, skill in the audience as well, I'm sure. Then your own
Yep.
passion, interest, or hobby, which you don't make money out of it, but pro bono out of love you share with society. And three, perhaps an invention or discovery. Five, convert your training program into a book or video. A lot of speakers,
Mm.
trainers are actually guilty of this. They don't convert. You can easily convert into a book, right? And number six, MSI was a term very popular 20 years ago, up to 10 years ago. Today, people talk of it less. Today, people tend to say do a side gig. MSI stands for multiple streams of income. So a book can be one of your
Ah.
multiple streams of income. Video, a Zoom appearance, book, etc., etc. Number seven, create a legacy for your family and your great children for years to come. Not out of ego, but we come to this world once, put on paper what you have learned in life, instead of just leaving a set of books by famous authors like Stephen Covey, Noam Dunn, but create your own legacy. Number eight, your life journey from life to death. It will be a great reading for people. And as we say, we learn from others people's mistakes, and your great grandchildren and so forth, they would appreciate this learning. And the second part of
Mm.
life journey is you could turn a mess. All of us don't succeed on a straight line. There'll be some failures, some crises along the way. You could turn a mess, MESS, into a message. And then nine, catharsis, CATHARSIS, a very good psychology term. If someone is not exposed to it, it writing your own book, whatever it's about, whether it's about your life or subject that is dear to your heart, it's self healing. It is self healing. And then number 10, your personal story. I'm sure you heard of autobiographies, memoirs. Why don't we write our own autobiography, which is a, a story of many lessons that I learned, for instance, that I would share with the world. And of course, you can also choose to write a memoir, a French term, memoir, just on one or two key principles, themes that happen. So, Aaron, 10 very, very good reason for us to start writing and continue writing on the
Very
basis
nice.
on the basis with self-publishing, your books could be put on the bookstore if you want, even it may not be a $1 million bestseller. And second, many of us are not really keen about making money. Not to say we don't love money, but many of us are not really keen about making money. Later, if time allows us, I'll give you some statistics. Going through
Mm-hmm.
traditional public houses, sorry, public houses publishing companies, you don't make much, only 10% royalty, but on your own you
Yeah.
can make up to 70 to 90%. After we go
Yep.
into that. These 10 to 12 weeks, I like to impress everyone that be clear about your intention. If your intention is not to make money, all the more reason to get started today. Yeah?
True.
Yeah.
Well, John, well, shall we dive into the reasons? But before that, I think let's really quickly address the people in the chat. Welcome
Yeah.
in, especially Christopher as well as Ki Hong. I think, yeah, Big Chief might not be in here.
Same
Okay,
here.
never mind. Yeah, let's move on. Let's get into the first reason. Uh, I totally forgot what it was.
Make
Making
money.
money, right?
But it is good to be an author and make money. It could be part time, it could be full time. But I don't like to burst everyone's bubble. Not everyone make a lot of money out out of the writing books. People like Stephen King, they've been writing year in, year out, year in, year out because of the love and passion. Stephen King, the king of horror books, he is still writing because of the love of writing. So these 12 weeks I like to impress upon everyone is about the love of writing, the love of sharing what you have in you, some key values, some key learning. Let's talk about number one first, make money. How much money can we make?
How
As I
much?
said, how much? You see,
1 million?
the traditional publishing houses before online sort of rock the boat by a few 100%, meaning that self-publishing became well known and respectable, and then many people switch on to self-publishing. But a lot of work needs to be done. Publishing
Mm.
houses gives only 5 to 10% royalty. Why? Because they need to have 90 to 95% of profit to themselves to
They come
do
up
the
with the capital, right? With
the kind of capital to publish the book, to promote the book, to PR the book, to network the book. That takes a
how
lot of effort.
how much do you think that it takes in terms of monetary value to successfully publish a book?
Successfully published meaning if you get the book
Say
on
even
the
a simple book, very simple book, like just an
you see
autobiography.
the great thing about technology, the great thing about technology is now publishing, now printing of books, good quality book on good quality paper has gone down a lot, in spite of inflation.
Mm.
Yeah, in spite of inflation. For instance, I published one book 13 years ago, 1,000 books. That's the minimum economy order, so to speak. Only cost
Yeah.
6,000 ringgit on glossy
Mm.
paper, on glossy paper. If it's on
Oh wow.
normal print material, it's only about 3 4K. That was 13 years ago. Today is there about. So if you print the book on just normal paper and 3 to 4K, we're talking about 100 to 150 pages. Today
Yeah.
People don't read Leo Tolstoy War and Peace 1500 pages. Those days were gone. People like
The attention
80
span is no there.
80 to 120, 150 pages. That would do.
Yeah.
It will cost me about 3, 4 ringgit a book, Aaron.
Interesting.
Only 3, 4 ringgit a book. So if you desire to make money out of it, like my books, it was put in the Times, it was put at Popular, depending on your agent and yourself. You can talk to them.
Mm,
Then they don't charge you. They don't charge you. They just get the royalty out of it. So what you set
interesting.
to want to earn out of it with a lot of effort, I like to remind us that with a lot of effort, it can be done. But my intention is not to make money out of it. Not to say I don't love money. My intention is the third reason, PR marketing too, which we'll talk about afterwards. And next week
Mm,
we'll go deeply into it when I guide all of us to how to write a book from ideation to content and how to script and so forth. Yeah. Now, making money. You see, J.K. Rowling, the one who wrote Harry Potter, I'm sure we heard her story. She was already 30 years with a kid and broke, broke and divorced. And one day she became a multi millionaire and a billionaire through the book. Through the book. Now, not everyone has the good fortune to go through that journey. With due respect to J.K. Rowling, not
of
many
course.
would have. Not many will have that luck. A lot of luck is needed because they done research. Latest research I did not delve into. A few years ago, latest research books via Amazon average. They represent so many thousands of authors. The average author earn less than $200.
Wow.
All and that's why just now I say I don't mean to burst people's bubble, all right? But the thing is, you never know. You got to put in the effort. I repeat, traditional publishing houses spend about 85 to 95% of the intended profit to promote the book, yeah, to PR retailers and so forth and so forth. Yeah. So if you want to push yourself through self-publishing, you can earn up to 70 to 90% royalty and possibly 70% if you tie up with the Kinokuniya. I'm talking about Malaysia. Then the Times and Popular, they will represent your book, but it needs a lot of effort. So if we're not
Mm,
prepared to put a lot of effort to make money out of it, don't use that as your driver. Worse still, if you use that as your driver, you don't get started. You don't get
true.
started. Yeah, but if you shall we move on to the second and third because they're related to
Yeah.
here. The
I think
second
it.
is
Sorry, sorry,
self-fulfillment.
please.
Yeah,
Yeah.
self-fulfillment. In Malaysia is called triple S, SSS. Aaron, what is SSS?
Syak sendiri. What?
Saja.
Saja.
Short saja. Nothing wrong with that. If 30 years ago you say short sendiri saja and beg the publishing house to publish your book. Anyway, those days was not easy to be selected by the publishing house. That's why many people could never put out their book as an author because they go through a very deep selection. Yeah. Possibly, I don't have the exact figure, possibly only 1% of all the scripts or intending authors get to be accepted. Yeah? But today,
Mm,
everyone can be accepted because you can go through self-publishing yourself, or there are professional self-publishing outfits online. As I said, they're in print of the traditional publishing houses. You can still make a
right.
lot of money. Yeah. Now, self-fulfillment is very important. It's very important. We all heard of Tony Robbins, I'm sure. I like to quote from him. There are two types of successes. One is the typical success, which is a science. You just follow people what to do, how to make money in stock exchange without being greedy. You can succeed. But if you want to fulfill yourself, self-fulfillment, loving what you do, then you got to ask yourself, what do I want to write about? What do I want to write about? up to the individual. So lots and lots of subject to write about. You could write about the an expertise you have, the passion you have, as I mentioned just now, or a discovery you have, and so forth and so forth. And then you don't really make money out of it, but you won't make
Mm-hmm.
a loss as well because you publish a normal paper, isn't it? Three, four, 3, 4 ringgit a book. Huh? Hey, come on, you don't have enough friends to support you, man. 3, 4 ringgit a book if you sell a course, isn't it?
They say that artists and authors are usually very lonely people, so maybe they don't have friends.
Maybe so, but the thing is, we have to swallow our pride for simple reason. We sell our book not out of ego. We sell our book to share with the world, shift our paradigm, share and help the world, so to speak. Now,
True.
I printed 1,000 book last time, and then I further reprint. 1,000 book cost me 6,000 ringgit. Very good glossy paper. I sold in Malaysia at 25 ringgit each. Supposed to be 30, 25. So I gained 25,000 from there. Net profit of
Mm.
19K, isn't it? Later, I use it as a PR tool. So whenever I go to potential client, I'm into the third reason now, PR marketing tool. I don't just give my name card. I don't just give the brochure. I give a book. And they are
That's
very
right.
impressed. They're very impressed because say what you like, today people have still have a high respect for authors.
Mm-hmm. Even if they don't read the book, it still makes an
Even
impression on
if they
them.
don't read the book, oh, Aaron Lee, you written a book on solar panel, you must be an expert. And
Huh.
when I was pitching for business for brand strategy in the early 2010 era, I just stepped in the company through a recommendation to the MD, gave him the book, and the MD shouted to all the senior people in the office, hey, John Tan is an author. Wow. Straight away you get credibility. Yeah? Straight away you get
That's right.
credibility. Yeah. And over the next 12 episodes, I give guidance as to it is quite easy to write a book. I am not bluffing. Yeah, no doubt I'm a trained professional writer. It's quite easy to write a book. I give you all the guide, how to go about it. Thanks to
Very
online
nice.
technology. Thanks to online technology. Yeah. So we must write a book. We must write
Hmm.
more than one book because it is still very highly respectable that you have a
Mm-hmm.
book to your name. And is it number one, make money? Who says you can't make money out of it? We use a PR marketing tool. I already sold 1,000 copy and make 19K out of it. If you want to do more, if one client sponsor my next printing, he took
Right.
1,000 books and gave to all his network. So through that, I make money also. Although it was not my main intention, but my main intention was to open doors, depending
Right.
on your type of business. My type of business brand strategy is a 6 figure to 7 figure. You know,
Mm.
6 figure on the higher side, 7 figure on the lower side. So
Now,
it opens
John,
a lot of
really
doors. Yeah.
quickly,
Yeah.
really quickly. When you say books, right? Are
Mm.
you just mentioning business books, or can it be something fun as well, like a comic book?
Why not? Yeah, why not? Because we can delve into that over the next few weeks. The
Sure.
it could be a comic book about your business. It is
Yeah.
just like the last week and previous week we talked about various formats of storytelling, right? So writing book is also their various format. It could be typical words. It could be words with 12 illustration interspersing. It could be like you said, a comic book. Yeah, I mean Captain Marvel books, comics today, they're not really comics in the real sense of 50, 70 years ago. It's actually a
No.
story in a
Yeah.
more so-called more relaxed entertainment form. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
if you
Very
can
interesting.
draw and write, do your own illustration. But if you cannot draw illustrate, team up with someone who can illustrate and draw. All the
Yeah,
possibilities are there. Yeah.
that's true. Okay, so I guess we can move on to the next point, which is sharing knowledge and experience. Is that correct?
Yeah. Sharing your knowledge and experience is partly extension of three and not entirely extension. Extension of three is you got as a business person, entrepreneur, or as an employee for the company you work for, you have an expertise, a talent, a skill. So you can share via a book in whatever form.
Mm-hmm.
Be just words, could be words with illustration, could be even a comic form. I've seen Sun Tzu Art of War in a comic form also. Yeah? So
Oh, wow.
substance with style. Or you can, if you don't want to talk about your expertise, you want to talk about your passion, orchid growing. You talk about some interesting game you devise, or you want to talk about your hobby, about music. You talk about how you build muscles and live up to 75. I have friends like that who look younger than 40 years. And those secrets will really enthrall a lot of people. So you come in book.
True.
Or I have some friends, they actually make invention, and they enter
Mm,
invention competition around the world. In Malaysia, they also have, and then a certain discovery. So you just do it not for the sake of making money, but as I said, if you really, if you really want to impact the world, we share lah. We don't just write for the sake of writing. We want to
yeah.
share. That's why we put it down on paper. We inspire to share with the world. You wouldn't make a loss. I can almost assure you, you wouldn't make a loss. Unless you just sit down, do nothing, and expect the book to fly. Of course, no lah. It comes back to one of the key golden value of being a writer, a speaker, or singer. I have value to share with the world. That's important. I have value to share with the world. And as Zig Ziglar, the very famous motivator years ago, before Tony Robbins' time is, my gift to share with the world is my responsibility. It's not a privilege, it's my responsibility. So, dear
Mm,
friends, it's very good high time for us to shift our paradigm that when we have talent, yeah, as Christians believe, God give me a gifting, and my gift to God is to share with the world. You may not be a Christian, you may not be spiritually inclined, but share whatever you have with the world. That is the core message of today's session. In the next 12 episodes as
very good. Okay, so I can see the next one would be converting your training program.
well. Now, this is what do you call that? The guilt of many trainers and speakers. In Malaysia, they tend to
Right.
call us trainers. Actually, we are facilitators because trainers are those in the zoo. They train the lion to sit down, they train the tiger to sit down. But we just use terminology we're familiar with. In Malaysia, a lot of trainers don't have a book, Aaron.
Mm,
My training programs are all converted into a book. In fact, years ago, years and years ago, even in the before 2010, many in the Philippines were already doing that. And
ah,
the HR director, HR manager are highly impressed. Oh, they're training from a book.
that's right.
Just like Stephen Covey's Seven Habits is a franchise program. It's based on a book. You see, I'm updating my storytelling module next year. It will be a book, emotive
Mm,
storytelling. Yeah. So, all trainers or speakers, whether you're very famous or not famous yet, convert into a book. That gives you higher credibility, that increases your reputation, that
that's right.
increases the perception of your potential customer and clients, and that also makes you feel very fulfilled as well.
In terms of digital marketing, it can become an ebook and it can be a
Yeah,
lead
it can
magnet.
become an ebook, and you never know. You just circulate on the online. Initially, there's some of my friends. They're very good at the self marketing. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
Hmm.
Before the book publisher, they already got 100 orders. Aaron.
The pre-orders.
Pre-orders. They tend to sell at 50
Wow,
ringgit. So 100 times 50 ringgit, 5,000 ringgit, pay for the cost of the printing already.
true. The rest will
So,
be the marketing costs and the time
uh,
costs, all that. Yeah,
and then you start promoting, and
right.
some friends, they are also clever. Some are sincere, some may not be. I'm not only judgmental.
True.
They tie up the first print to charity.
Hmm.
Part of it, 30
Interesting.
40% goes to charity. And then they put
Interesting.
online, wow, this John Tan or Aaron, wow, this first book for charity and all sale for charity, Yeah.
Right. Right.
Famous author, friend of mine and friend of many, is Dr. Victor Tan. He specializes in leadership. All his books, I met him recently. We also come from the iAuthors Club. His books, since some years, when he first started, typically was to sell the book, became an icon for leadership, not only in Malaysia, Southeast Asia as well, and some parts of the world. His books print with his own money, and whatever sold goes to charity.
Wow. Very,
So it's
very,
up to us. There are
very interesting.
many ways to get our knowledge and experience to the world. So
True.
some is for making money per se, like J.K. Rowling. Some is by the way we make some money. Some is we use it to open doors for business, like for my brand strategy. I make more money than people selling books ever, because
Yeah.
when I get a brand strategy project, it's six figure on the lower side, and then 5 figure on the higher side, isn't it? So depending
Yeah.
on your intention, these are all possibilities.
Mm. Very, very interesting.
Any
But
question?
unfortunately, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think we have much time left. So,
Yeah.
if the audience have any questions, maybe now's the time, if to ask. But if not, then Jonathan, maybe you can summarize today's session and maybe give us some insight into what's coming next.
All right. I think we wrap now in a couple of minutes.
Can.
Just a brief overall summary, just in case some of you tune in not exactly on time at 8:30. We're gonna have 12 episodes. How to write your own book. That means how to be an author. AUTHOR. Of course, I also do training program on that. But if you are courageous enough, if you commit yourself to tune in to us for the next 12 weeks, you can write your own book. I will give all the guidance, real guidance, real guidance. Why am I doing all that? It's pro bono, PROBONO. Many of us speakers are not just making money, but it's also pro bono as well. Now, today we started with the 10 reason why you must be an author. Not 10 reason of how you can be an author. 10 reason why you must be an author. So
Mm.
today we already shared you. We covered four.
Five.
Number five. Number
Yeah.
one, money. Number two, self-fulfillment. Syok sendiri saja, nothing wrong. Don't only feel guilty.
Triple S.
Triple S, syok sendiri saja. Number three, PR marketing tool to open doors for whatever your business, whether you're an entrepreneur, business person, or you work for your company. Number four,
Yeah.
share your knowledge experience in three ways, either your expertise or talent skill. Two, your passion, interest, or hobby. And three, invention or discovery. And five, convert your training program into a book or video. Hey, some people even convert. I learned it from the international online presenters, because I tune into a lot of
Mm-hmm.
international presenters. Some paid and some are free. For 6 hours, fantastic program laid out. After that, they convert into a book.
Ah, interesting.
Even in Zoom, even
There's so many
StreamYard,
possibilities.
so many possibilities. Convert to a book. Initially, you use it, you sort of leverage, use it to promote your future talks, whatever, future whatever,
Perhaps
whatever.
our sessions also will be turned into a book in the future.
Oh yes,
How
definitely.
about that? Yeah.
all all the
We have
episode we
hundreds of episodes already up. Maybe, maybe there is something in the future, but
yeah.
maybe not. We shall see. We shall see. But
You see,
unfortunately for now,
I'll just wrap
yeah,
with this statement based on what you say.
sure, can.
I'll give one tip which I mentioned practically every other week. Try to do programs that are sequenced, like what we do.
Mm,
When I first started on BCC, it was storytelling, it was sequence 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then brand strategy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then now is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. When you sequence, you convert to a book is very readable, very sellable. If not,
right.
just like before online physical newspaper, there are people who write to the newspaper and they compile 1 year 52 articles into a book. It is all possible.
Mm,
And another possibility which we'll talk about in future weeks, you can be a co-author instead of author by yourself. And that is a very easy way to get started. Co-author.
very good. Very good. So, without further ado, let's wrap up really quick. Thanks everyone for coming in and tuning into the Big Chief channel. We are live every 8:30 p.m. GMT plus 8. We're hoping to catch you again in the next coming episodes. So, stay tuned and how everybody. Bye
Bye.
bye.